I loved it.
Get there quicker.
Get there quicker. We lost it when he said that.
It's like pointing down to his crotch.
Yeah, Serena there's a rumor going around that Serena has something. Something? Get there quicker.
Oh. Hey, Upper East Siders and all you scandal-loving listeners out there. You just tuned into the Non-Judging Breakfast Pod, where the coffee is strong, the waffles are fresh, and the gossip is hotter than ever. My name is Leif, and I'm your seasoned Gossip Girl veteran.
And I'm Steve, the rookie, the newbie, I don't know, Leif, what's the new guy now that we're in season 4?
Well, a lesbian switcheroo doesn't exactly make you Blackwater.
No, but you should see all my merit badges for tax fraud.
Okay.
Exposing tax fraud. So here's the deal, folks. Leif has been watching Gossip Girl since it first aired, and I'm diving in for the first time. And together, we are your dynamic duo, bringing you all the drama, the romance, and sometimes questionable fashion choices of this iconic 2007 series.
Bring your magnifying glasses, because each week we're dissecting every juicy detail of the show, one episode at a time. We'll connect the dots, uncover those sneaky little Easter eggs, and of course, serve up some piping hot behind-the-scenes tea. And expect some iconic fan moments too, because what's a deep dive without a little drama?
And since we are all about inclusivity here at the Non-Judging Breakfast Pod, there is always room for you at the Non-Judging Breakfast table. So go ahead and grab your coffee, your mimosa, light up some of Chuck's special medicine, and let's go ahead and get this thing started.
Let's get started, but before we get into the episode...
What is it now?
Spotify was doing some weird stuff because it's deleting some comments.
Weird.
Cause I went back in to copy and paste them for my show notes, but I do remember there was one from a new listener, Billy, who apparently just binge watched all of our episodes up until the season 3 finale.
Awesome. Welcome, Billy.
So hopefully you're enjoying season 4.
Yeah.
Binge watching is definitely much appreciated, and that's a huge compliment. It's binge worthy.
Yeah, we love it. Especially if you started from the beginning, because those first couple episodes were rough. when we were finding our groove, I felt.
So we do have the $1 a month Patreon right now just to support us, but I am coming up with some ideas for some bonus content. So that should be coming to patreon.com/nonjudgingbreakfastpod.
Yes, I love that. And we would love to have you guys more involved.
Always appreciated, never expected.
Yes, absolutely.
And we are here to talk about Season 4, Episode 5, Goodbye, Columbia. Original air date was October 11th, 2010, and based on the movie Goodbye, Lenin.
Oh.
I think I'm going to have to check this out because it sounds kind of funny, but it is a 2003 German language film. And in 1990, to protect his fragile mother from a fatal shock after a long coma, a young man must keep her from learning that their beloved nation of East Germany, as she knew it, has disappeared.
Wow.
So it sounds kind of funny.
Yeah, yeah.
A woman wakes up from a coma after the Berlin Wall has fallen.
Yeah, and it's like I pine for the good old days. Damn. But yeah, so that's interesting. So it's Lenin, not Lenin as in John, but Lenin as in...
Yeah, with the I.
Yeah.
Episode is written by Robert Hull, who's been the story episode editor for every episode of seasons 2 and 3, but then also wrote the X-Files, It's a Wonderful Lie, The Grandfather, The Lost Boy, The Treasure of Serena Madre, The Lady Vanished, and Dr. Strangelove.
It's an interesting array of credits because there's some that are okay, but a lot of these aren't great. You know, Lady Vanished, we've talked over and over about how we didn't like that one.
But The Treasure of Serena Madre is one of the best episodes.
Exactly. So we have like these.
The X-Files is also kind of fun too. And Dr. Strangelove was also fairly good.
And we really like that. But I also feel like The Grandfather was kind of that first one we were kind of a little middle of the road on. This episode almost felt like it was written by two people to me. That kind of A team, B team feeling, because there was some dialogue that was amazing. And then there were some plot points that were just horrible. So I just kind of, it kind of was a weird spectrum in the writing that kind of is reflected in this resume.
So I felt like it was a stupid episode, but it was well put together.
Yeah. Yes. I think that's a great way to put it.
They got into the writer's room and they came up with the episode, and it was just a stupid idea.
Yeah.
But he made it work.
Yeah. No, we're going with it. This is what we're doing.
And back again in the director's chair is Jeremiah Chick. He did 320. It's a dad world, but this is the guy that also directed Benny and June and Christmas Vacation.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And I think he did a good job with this.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the directing was good. Yeah, I have no complaints there. I in fact, I'll say I think that Penn had a particularly excellent performance in most of this episode.
Oh, I think Jessica Zor had her best performance in the series.
Absolutely. 100. I was actually going to mention that too. That 100%. That the roller coaster that Vanessa goes through in this episode, she literally hits every human emotion on the scale. Yeah. And so I agree that and she nails it. So again, like phenomenal performance by Jessica Shazor.
Go ahead and give us that Vulture recap.
All right. They say love is a kind of insanity, but everyone knows when you lose love or start to feel it slipping away from you, that's when the real fun begins. We saw this in 3 stages of last night's episode of Gossip Girl. Vanessa, tormented by Dan's relationship with Serena, pursues the truth about them with single-minded intensity, bursting into hysterical rants and confronting Serena on the street like a character in some kind of Elizabethan tragedy, only to realize, as she turns her tear-stained face to regard Dan's back, that the real truth is that Dan is just kind of ambivalent about her. Meanwhile, Chuck, having decided the only thing that will heal his freshly broken heart is a dialysis-pumping pure vengeance, declares his decidedly insane plan to ruin every single thing in Blair's life until she is left with nothing, a sentiment eerily echoed by mysterious jail guy, who we learn has the same intentions for Serena, no doubt because of whatever really nasty venereal disease she gave him.
Indeed, Vulture, indeed.
Indeed.
Into Act 1, Gossip Girl monologues. Morning on the Upper East Side, where even our own blonde Birdie has been spotted flying the coop early to make it to her early classes. Leave it to Serena Vanderwoodson to make geek chic. Who knew Ivy would look so good on her?
Yeah, and then...
Yeah, Serena's on her way to class, but has her taxi stolen by a good-looking man escorting a young woman. It's made apparent that this isn't the first time this has happened, and despite Serena's obvious annoyance, the man has the balls to ask her out.
Like, immediately I'm like, oh, fuck this. Fuck this guy, fuck all of this. That, first of all, when she waves for a cab, 2 cabs pull up. And so in my mind, I'm like, yeah, of course, Serena Vanderwoodson gets all of her cabs. Second thought, why is Serena taking a cab? When has Serena taken a cab anywhere? They take cars everywhere. Third, when does travel matter in Gossip Girl? Like,
well, you kind of have to take a cab if you are late, because if your car isn't near you.
Yeah, I guess if you have a car service and you have to call them up. But also, why are you late? You know, why don't you have that car pulling up at that time right then every day scheduled?
Exactly.
Right? Like, this guy couldn't steal your car if it was your car, like the one he got into for himself. Also, there is, that second cab pulled up, and then it's not there, and then it sometimes is and sometimes isn't, and it's there later in the later scene with the two of them. Yeah. So there was some continuity errors in how they shot it.
Yeah.
But and then it doesn't even get to the whole, this complete, way too old for her jerk flirting with her. This guy who's like escorting actresses and flight attendants out of his room every night offers her, I mean, he was funny. Like, no doubt the guy was funny. Like, you look like you're about a size 7. Goes to hand her the shoes. Like, I give him for...
Like, he's a very charming guy.
Yeah, he was very charming, but also, like, fuck this.
And did you catch that he did set up the end of the episode?
That he set up...
The bar at the end of the episode.
Oh, yeah, well, he makes the comment about the
King Cole bar is the only place that makes the red snapper.
Right, yeah.
Which is where they end up at the end of the episode.
Yes, yeah.
So she clearly was going to see him.
Yeah, exactly. And despite her sitting there like, oh, you? Like...
And so this is the second time this season we got introduced to a new character, and for the whole episode we didn't get his name.
Yeah.
It is Colin.
Oh, okay.
Blair is having her minions compile information about women in power, and that she can find a mentor. When Serena shows up looking for advice, Blair orders the minions to walk behind her for privacy, 10 steps for Zoe. Serena needs advice on dealing with being late, and Blair mentions that she's sticking on campus to avoid Chuck.
Season 3, when everybody graduates and goes to college, you see evolution in all of their characters. All of them grew up. All of them had this level of maturity. All of the show took on a new tone that really reflected college life. And now we're back to season 1.
Yeah, they definitely took them out of their element by putting them in NYU. And I guess it got mixed reactions.
Yeah.
And so they try to recapture the season 1 by just going to a school that apparently is exactly like high school.
Yeah. And I'm so over it. Like, I was so over it when they graduated and was so glad to be like onto something new. And like season 3 is Blair's search for minions, right? That comes up all the time. And she finds the Columbia girls and latches to that. So we have it kind of built into the story for her to get these minions. But I'm just so tired of her having minions. I'm just so tired of this high school shit. Make it a college show. I hate when and they're not the first TV show to do this.
I mean, minions is a thing, not necessarily called minions, but you see those girls at all age groups that, they have their little assistants to follow them around. And
you do. And I've known girls like that in college. And I'm not saying it doesn't exist. I'm saying that you've done that. You did it for 2 years very well. Move on.
Yeah. Blair's not moving on.
Yeah, I know. And Blair and Chuck aren't moving on. No. This whole episode is just... It is a very funny episode with a lot of great twists, but it is stagnant at the same time.
Mm-hmm. Rufus is at the loft because Dan hasn't been returning his calls. Dan ensures he had a long talk with Vanessa, and they worked out all their issues.
Yes, I'm glad that we have this inappropriate relationship back in our lives, because it's been a minute since Rufus and Vanessa got a little awkwardly chummy. And I get it. He's checking in on Dan, and his last conversation with Dan was, I don't know who I want. Rufus, I get him checking in, but it's also another weird, a little too familiar, a little too friendly with your kid's girlfriend conversations.
And it gets even worse. He looked more like Dan than ever this episode.
Yeah. He really did.
Nate and Dan are hanging out at the Empire, and Nate invites Dan and Vanessa to double date with him and Juliet at Hamilton House. Dan jumps at the opportunity once he finds out appetizers are involved, Nate says he and Juliet are planning on going all the way after the mixer.
I loved this scene. Maybe the best scene in the episode. I loved Nate and Dan. Their banter was fantastic. There's going to be snacks. Oh, well, in that case, okay. Want to go to a movie afterwards? It doesn't have to have subtitles. Like, you can see the history and familiarity, and that you know that Dan has been like, yo, let's go see a movie. And Nate's like, okay. And just had to read a movie.
They're definitely like dressing alike as well. Too.
Yes. Yeah.
They've been doing it all season.
Yeah. You're right. They have. And the and Dan, when he's like, with everything that happened, I know. I missed you too. Just the two of them.
No hugs.
No hugs. I'm not giving you a hug. They were just so in sync, and it just felt so genuine. And I really just felt this scene.
Mm. And for a supposed secret society, Hamilton House seems to have a lot of parties for non-members.
Yeah. It's a secret society that they really want you to know about.
Everyone wears a key around.
Yeah. What's that key for? The secret society, the Hamilton House that I'm a part of?
Yes. Juliet is visiting Ben in prison again. Juliet is afraid of getting caught taking down Serena so soon after the last time. Ben suggests using Nate as a fall guy and shows her a picture of Nate and Juliet kissing. The next part of the plan is to get Serena expelled from Columbia.
Gossip Girl, at this point, give us a fucking clue. Like, why is this guy so obsessed with destroying Serena? Why is this girl going along with it? Like, clearly they have some kind of history.
So I will say, even though it hasn't necessarily been linked to this character yet, they have mentioned this in the last season. The incident that caused this.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Did they cause someone to go to jail last season?
Not necessarily. So there's no direct link to Ben.
Right.
But the reason why he is in jail was that story was mentioned.
Okay. Interesting.
It's one of those things where Gossip Girl just mentions something about the past, in passing.
Yeah. Right.
But they do end up tying it in.
Which it is one of the neat things about the show when they drop little Easter eggs, probably I'm assuming from the books, and then incorporating them in later.
Possibly, yeah. It's definitely like tied in after the fact.
Yeah.
At Columbia, Blair casually cuts a long line in an attempt to register for Miss Chamberlain's lecture series. She is, however, surprised to see Chuck's also there and apparently auditing a few classes. Chuck announces that he plans to take Columbia away from Blair.
Over it. The only thing I will say, the one bright spot in this conversation was when he says, for the Bart Bass Rotunda, what? It's a building, typically round. And I know what a rotunda is, but it was just his timing was just impeccable on that.
Yeah. We see Serena, then Vanessa, and then Nate and Dan reading a blast about Serena having an STD. Then, as we go to break, we see Juliet walking with a stone-cold killer face on.
Gossip Girl. This is uncalled for. Outing someone's medical records is unfucking called for. No matter where you get the source from, that was uncalled for.
Again, though, it's supposed to mimic the high school gossip.
Yes.
No.
Yeah, I mean, I know.
Because someone had even the hint of having an STD in high school, the whole school would know by lunchtime.
Yeah, exactly.
And this is what the actual blast said. This just in. Looks like you can take the girl out of the party, but not the party out of the girl. Rumor has it, our favorite blonde could be spreading more than just good cheer. And if it's true, then there's a test out there a few of you might not be able to pass. Does SVW have an STD?
That line of not taking the party out of the girl is also vulgar.
Yeah, it's horrible.
like God damn it, Gossip
And this whole
Girl.
plot is horrible.
Yes, it is. I wonder, because you know that TV shows do this sometimes. A good example is Bad Beer or Beer Bad from Buffy, where they actually get extra money from government grants and government programming to do certain sort of PSA.
We definitely know this show's not above taking money from companies.
Yeah, yes, we do know that they are not above taking money from where they can get it. And a lot of shows, especially aimed at teenagers, have done episodes where they have these kinds of messages in them, which I was going to wait to talk about until we get to the Nate scene, which I'll go into a little bit more.
And we move into Act 2. Blair is reassuring Serena that the rumors will blow over when they can't be confirmed. She also lets Serena know that Chuck has brought the war to campus and Miss Chamberlain's assistant position will be just the distraction Blair needs.
It was a good Blair-Serena moment. Good friends with each other.
Yeah, I will say, I think one of the better things this season has done is every episode we have several one-on-one scenes with Blair and Serena.
Yes, and best friends.
Yeah.
Them
Friendly
catching up,
scenes, yeah.
Yeah, tagging in, catching up. It really helps narratively also to keep the plot going and really emphasize that constant relationship.
Juliet is explaining the Gossip Girl who fucked who chart to Nate and Dan when Vanessa shows up to talk to Dan. As they walk off to talk in private, Juliet says she wants Nate to get a test before they bang. Smart move considering it's summer.
Yeah, it is a smart move. I also feel like when I was talking about that PSA, this conversation is that PSA. I feel like there was kind of a missed opportunity here when Juliet said, "I'm a girl. I pay attention in health class," for her to say, "I'm a girl." We need to actually be a little bit more aware of these things because of how we're treated societally and how the onus of protection is often put on us. But I also thought that...
That's definitely not the message Gossip Girl's sending.
No, it is not. But the fact that they did drive home the message of you can carry this and not, you can carry an STD and not know and still give it to people.
That was definitely a good factoid.
Yeah, I think that is where that PSA really comes in, and a good piece of information. And honestly, like I said, I almost wish if that was the case, lean in and really have try to get a little bit more of that conversation, because Nate's also the perfect person to have that conversation with. Nate didn't pay attention in health class. Nate didn't pay attention in any class. So to have to teach him about STIs, that is a really good conversation. So I thought it fit the plot while also delivering that message. So I wasn't mad at it at all. Now this scene,
Vanessa is once again doubting that Dan and Serena didn't sleep together in the spring, but she seems to calm down after they talk.
She has that moment where she's like, "You're right, I'm sorry." Where Dan is basically saying, we had this conversation and I can't have it again.
Yeah.
And she apologizes and seems to let it go. You really feel for Vanessa here. We know, I believe, Dan, that nothing happened. That has always kind of been the on-screen, off-screen thing, that Dan and Serena said to each other nothing happened, that it was just a kiss. So that lingering paranoia in the back of Vanessa's head that just gets turned up and just boils up every time their orbits cross. It makes sense. It is how people feel. So I thought that it was... I thought this was a good conversation, even though I would be annoyed with her too if I was Dan.
Yeah. Juliet finds Serena in the quad and denies starting the rumors about her. Juliet also feigns sympathy for the way the professor called Serena out in the middle of class. Juliet then insinuates that Nate believes the rumor, and just then Serena conveniently sees Nate and Dan walking to the student health center.
I feel like Juliet, the actor playing Juliet, something Sharp. I can't think of her first name.
Juliet.
Juliet, yeah.
The character is Juliet Sharp.
Oh, Juliet Sharp. Yeah, the person playing it, I looked her up earlier, and I can't remember her name. I looked her up earlier to see if she was a soap opera actor, because she feels very soapy a lot of the time. Not bad acting, just not acting that we're used to seeing on this show. That a lot of her feigned expressions. Now, she's also an actor who's acting, right? She's playing a person who is acting another part, which is incredibly difficult to communicate without being too obvious. So I think she does a decent job. Turn to Juliet herself, that I was always kind of annoyed by this character.
Katie Cassidy,
that's right, yes.
She's in Arrowverse, I think.
Yeah, she's in a few other things that I like. The character herself is a genius. She's actually like really pulling all of this shit off.
Yeah.
And when she gets caught, she really is able to pivot and rise above. The only time that she really got caught and didn't rise above was with the keys. And so she's pivoted and kept herself clean. I was thinking like, oh, this stupid stuff. No, she's getting away with it.
Yeah.
Like all of it.
She's a great villain.
Yeah, I had the like, she's Georgina if Georgina wasn't fucking nuts.
Yeah.
So it just kind of, this scene was really when I was like, she's really pulling this shit off. She's way better than I'm giving her credit for.
Dan is apologizing to Nate about telling him about the cotton swab thing when Serena storms up and demands to know what the hell they are doing. Nate says that he's doing this for someone else and Serena is not his priority right now.
Serena, Nate has made it clear that you're not number one. I think that Serena's request for him to go somewhere else is reasonable. Nate, you could literally go anywhere and get this done less visibly. Also,
I'm surprised he doesn't have a private doctor. We know Chuck has a private doctor, and they live together.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. But also Dan and Nate going in together is not good optics. The two last guys you were
I'm just a wingman.
Yeah. And I loved that though. Like, Dan, what, and again, when we see definitively they did not sleep together. Dan, it's been what, 6 months or
2 years?
Or yeah, Dan, it's been what, 2 years? And yeah, so I'm just a wingman.
And then he goes and signs up for himself.
Yeah, he goes and signs Nate in.
Yeah, not the best optics.
No, not the best optics.
We get a quick scene of Vanessa seeing a blast of Dan at the health center filling out forms. So.
Yep. And Vanessa, as it is pointed out to you, you always look for the worst in people.
Well, I mean, the way Gossip Girl's presenting it.
It does absolutely look like Dan is worried and signing himself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally get where Vanessa's coming from this whole episode.
Yeah. And yet I totally understand where Dan's coming from too.
Yeah.
It's like we've said before, real conflict comes when both sides are right or seemingly right.
Blair is reviewing trivia about Miss Chamberlain on her way to deliver her favorite pie to the woman herself. However, Miss Chamberlain informs Blair that the assistant position has already gone to Chuck. Chuck then lets Blair know that she isn't even in the class as it was over-enrolled.
Oh, Chuck's now taken the spot from Blair, and she was going to bake her a pie to get into her good graces. And Chuck forgets how much he used to enjoy Blair's pie.
Yeah.
Perfect line. Disgusting, but perfect line.
Missed opportunity to smash the pie in his face.
Yeah, for sure.
And this is what Gossip Girl says as we go to break. Better batten down the hatches, B. Looks like your island in the storm was just hit by a Bass 5 hurricane.
Gossip Girl had some good ones today. That one was good.
Yeah. Act 3 begins. The next day, Serena and Blair both come down the stairs at the Waldorf apartment. Serena thinks she has accomplished something by securing a meeting with her professor during office hours. Blair explains that she hasn't given up just yet as Miss Chamberlain gets off the elevator. Blair is trying to get the assistant position by setting Miss Chamberlain up with a man who isn't intimidated by a powerful woman.
Okay, so first of all, yes, Serena, office hours mean that you can go find your professor anytime he's there. And like he has them every day, or at least a few times a week, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Wooing the professor with a man. The chauvinism of the show will just sometimes really rear its head. This professor's like, oh, you know what? You're right. I need to have a man in my life to really... I am such a powerful woman.
To be fair, it's not a real professor.
Right. But the whole thing is, here is this big, powerful woman. So how do I make this big, powerful woman like me? Find her a man. It's so... And especially when you have all this other dirt on her. You have plenty else on her that you could have blackmailed her. You could have found information to blackmail her ex. You could have blackmailed the nanny. You had plenty of other information, but you're like, oh, well, my stepdad's a lawyer and he can hook you up with a dude. It was the worst fucking plot.
I mean, I guess. I think it was fairly well set up, though, because she was just dumped for the nanny.
Right, which is even more like, oh, this woman can't make it on her own when she's feeling so down.
The same story would work fine with a guy.
I think with a guy, it's a little bit different, though, because I think a guy being bribed by sex is a little bit different than this powerful guest lecturer.
She's not being bribed with sex. She's being bribed with a compatible partner.
Right. But I'm saying that if the plot were twisted and it was a man involved, that the man is going to be not so much necessarily thinking in terms of long-term partnership and compatibility, but will this pan out? Is just kind of how I see that.
But it could be played exactly the same, I think.
And
that's the way you see it going, because that's how you would write it. But it could
maybe
it could be the same exact story flipped, I think.
But even still, even the same exact story flipped, it just is such a, you're gonna fire this guy.
It's a cliche.
You're gonna fire this guy and hire me to be in your class. You're gonna make these life choices over me possibly setting you up with a guy that you might get along with.
The only reason she hired Chuck was because he's paying her.
Well, yeah, she doesn't have morals. I'm just saying that it to me, it diminishes the character of this powerful CEO who is going to just make decisions based on who this college kid is going to set her up with.
It's stupid, but I don't think it's sexist or anything.
I found it to be sexist, personally. And maybe you're right. Maybe it's because it's how I would have written it going the other way.
I could see it exactly the same reversed.
I guess I just saw it as making this powerful person seem less powerful. And I think maybe this says something about me, that if I see somebody that is powerful, but
I mean, do powerful people not get to be in love?
No, they absolutely do. But I'm saying that if love is what's going to bribe you into life, love,
well, if you have a ton of money, you can get anything else.
The prospect of love.
Again, the ultra rich, they can get pretty much anything, but there's certain things you can't just buy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And finding someone compatible is that.
It was dumb.
It's dumb.
It was really dumb.
But it works. Yeah, my whole point is just, I don't think it's sexist.
Oh, that's fair.
Serena has yet another run-in with the cute cab stealer. The man admits that he has been doing this on purpose just to see Serena.
Yeah.
It's an older guy stalking a teenager.
You are an older man stalking a teenager. Once again, Gossip Girl loves inappropriate relationships for Serena.
Dan goes to the penthouse to ask for advice about Vanessa. Rufus clearly is uncomfortable with the idea of STDs. Rufus gives Dan the advice that he needs to let Vanessa know that she is the most important in his life, and if that means taking a step back from his friendship with Serena, so be it.
I loved it.
Get there quicker.
Get there quicker. We lost it when he said that.
It was like pointing down to his crotch.
Yeah, Serena there's a rumor going around that Serena has something. Something? Get there quicker.
Oh. I like how he checks to make sure Lily's not there, too.
Yeah.
Vanessa tracks down Serena on the Columbia campus to ask her about what really happened with her and Dan last spring. Vanessa believes the worst about Serena and leaves in a huff. Serena gets a text from her professor that she's too late and that she should buy a watch.
I loved this scene. I thought the directing in this scene was spotless. The speed, the pace of it, the way Serena's coming on and is ambushed by Vanessa, and they're both in piss moods already, and Vanessa starts drilling her, and Serena's like, you always look for the worst in people anyway, why stop now? Never answers her, never denies it, because it's not Serena's fucking place. Your question has been answered by your boyfriend. What, is Serena going to be the one that you now believe? No, you'll just think she's covering for her too, for him too. So when Serena just lays that out, you have two people, again, in piss-poor moods, colliding and exploding, and then Vanessa and her storm-off is just perfect. I loved this scene in this episode.
Yeah. So the text read that Serena got from her professor, I waited 5 minutes, office hours over, buy a watch. So this means that she scheduled her appointment in the last 5 minutes of the office hours?
or at the end, or she scheduled her appointment and said, I'll come in at your office hours, saw that his office hours ended at whatever time and was like, well, I'll show up by then, I'm sure. Because again, this guy who's stalking her leaves every day so that he can see her. But why are his office hours over in the beginning of the day when she is first leaving her house?
I think he's just watching. He's just sitting there waiting for Serena all day.
With a woman. He's just hires a prostitute just to sit in the lobby with him so he can escort them to a cab when he sees Serena.
Oh, boy. Minion Zoe is having martinis in Chuck's suite and passes some information about Blair to Chuck.
Yeah, you had this coming, Blair. You've been treating Zoe like shit. You've been making her your new Penelope, and she is not having it. And she knows. She makes it clear. Zoe makes it clear in this scene. Being in this orbit, one day she's going to have to take down Blair. At least she expects that she will one day.
We know they only need they only need 2 minions.
Yeah. Yep.
So some might get eliminated. Because we got Penelope in the wings still.
Right. Yeah. Although I'd prefer the silent third Columbia girl that we saw last season.
Yes.
Who was far more approachable.
Yes.
Hi, Danielle.
Juliet finds Nate trying to study at Hamilton House. Nate is frustrated because he's learned that the test results could take 3 to 4 days to receive. Juliet suggests another means for learning if the rumor is true. Again, what about all the other women he slept with this summer?
Yeah, yes, they're only worried about the one, despite him having a little black book. Like, he's been where Chuck's been, and we know Chuck has had stuff. So, yeah.
Get tested, my guy.
Yeah, you did the right thing. You did the objectively right thing. We also, I think, skipped over the fact that Dan and Vanessa, when they had their confrontation about it way earlier, where that Dan said, we both got tested before we started dating, which I also feel is sort of that PSA money coming in. Like, before you start with a new sexual partner, you should get tested. That's a smart thing to do.
Yeah. Juliet is outside talking to Ben on the phone and says she has Nate right where they need him to be the fall guy. She quickly hangs up when she sees Vanessa approaching. Vanessa asks Juliet for advice. It looks like Juliet has found a new fall guy, or should I say fall gal.
There was one other point about Nate getting tested. Oh, that these results, that they'll take a few days to come in. And you see Juliet trying to push Nate away to keep that boundary that it's fake dating. So, again, making him get tested and wait for the results is just another piece of this plan that is coming together, despite the fact that clearly she is starting to fall for Nate. But having that like built in, nope, we can't for a few days. I thought it was just a really smart addition to her plan.
But Ben's prison has a very liberal communication policy because he seems like he can just call or get visits any time of day or night.
Yeah.
And also, typically, calls from prisoners are monitored and recorded.
Yes.
Unless you're talking to your attorney specifically.
Yes. They are monitored.
For specifically this reason.
Yeah, to make sure you're not,
committing
crimes on the outside through other people.
Oh, Gossip Girl writers.
Yeah. You think any of them has ever been in jail?
They had Bing at this point. They could look it up.
They could have binged it.
So we move into Act 4. Blair and Serena convene at the party and briefly relate their respective plans to settle their Columbia business. As Serena goes to check in her purse, we see a nervous-looking Vanessa looking pointedly at the clutch.
Yeah, not much to really say on this.
I will say this scene and then later, they did a very good job with camera work following first the purse and then the cell phone.
Yeah.
Vanessa finds Juliet in a quiet hallway with a story of how she got the coat check guy to give her Serena's purse. Vanessa quickly finds an email on the phone from Dan to Serena confirming that nothing more than a kiss happened. When Vanessa tries to put the phone away, Juliet stops her. Juliet gets Vanessa to go stand lookout, leaving her alone with Serena's phone. Vanessa returns and thanks Juliet for her help and then goes to take Dan home to bone. Juliet puts Serena's phone in her own handbag.
Vanessa's face when she sees that email. Like Vanessa's happiness.
Yeah.
And I just really, she just really nailed it. And then when Juliet's like, I think someone's coming. No, there's not.
Yes.
Vanessa, why would you fall for that? Like,
because she's a fucking idiot.
She really is. I feel like Vanessa is so on guard for the Upper East Siders and the non-judging Breakfast Club to be trying to get one over on her that anyone else can get one over on her as long as they're pointed in their direction. Especially Serena right now.
Yeah. And yet another person who works behind a desk being a failure at their job.
Yeah.
You just give this random person their purse like 30 seconds after the original person hands it to you.
Yeah. Yep. Another assistant. Another worker. Oh, yeah. Here you go.
She smiled at him.
Yeah. And said Serena needs it.
A confident Blair finds Miss Chamberlain to introduce her to her date.
Yeah. And marches her off. Introduces herself as her new assistant.
As Vanessa is returning Serena's handbag to the coat check, Dan and Nate surprise her from behind. Nate quickly leaves to find Juliet, and Dan is at first a bit confused by Vanessa's change of mood, but when she offers sex, he powers through.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? It might take me all night to get over that. And again with the appetizers, when she's like, we should fill up on appetizers, and Dan's like, bet. Like, had you just taken off, everything, you would have ended up being fine in a manner of speaking. For now, anyway.
Both Blair and Miss Chamberlain are surprised when the setup is a woman and not a man. Miss Chamberlain is not pleased and tells Blair that her class is full forever. Chuck, from across the room, gives Blair a metaphorical wink, letting her know that he set her up.
And flicks the scarf.
Yeah, that's the metaphorical wink.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he swapped out the anticipated date for a woman. Awesome. Good job, guys.
Yeah.
That's what you came up with, writer's room. There we go.
Serena finds her professor to talk to him about her tardiness. The professor happens to be with the dean, who immediately starts grilling Serena on an email from her account to the professor offering sex for grades. I guess we know what Juliet did with Serena's phone.
Yeah, now we know what she was doing with it. Great plan.
Yeah.
Great plan. That would get someone expelled.
Indeed.
And here's the thing. If you would have put the phone back into the case and disappeared, you may have had a better chance.
Yeah.
You may have had a better... Now, of course, she still did get away with it by framing Vanessa. But if Serena had her phone on her when that went down, Vanessa... Yeah, she'd get expelled. Vanessa still may have tried to say something, but like...
Yeah, I guess that... actually, she probably made the smarter move. Because Vanessa could have said something and then...
Yeah.
And then it immediately goes to Juliet because she was already trying to go after Serena.
Yeah. So that is probably... Yeah. And probably wasn't even thought in the moment. So, yeah.
And we get Gossip Girl saying this. Spotted Serena Vanderwoodson looking like she's hot for teacher. That's the thing with a good gaslight. With enough smoke, who cares if there's really a fire?
I actually did want to say that was one of my favorite Gossip Girl lines. That it's so true. And her whole job is spreading gossip and spreading rumors. And nobody cares if there's an actual fire if they see enough smoke.
Yep.
I really, again, the Gossip Girl quips were really good. And that one, I feel like, when she says spotted, I feel like that is more post than narration. That's kind of my headcanon. So I thought that was good.
So we move into Act 5. Vanessa finds Juliet and accuses her of sending the email from Serena's phone. Juliet, of course, denies it, and Vanessa announces she's going to tell Serena that they had her phone. Juliet tries to stop her, but Vanessa is going to do the right thing. It
is such a classic mistake, and they do it all the time in Gossip Girl, of telling the person you're going to tell. Yeah. If you would have just not approached Juliet first and been like, oh shit, I see what's going down, and gone right to Serena instead of stopping at Juliet, you're fine.
Do you think Juliet's just going to go admit that she did it?
Well, no, I'm just...
Vanessa. I'm not asking Vanessa.
Right. Oh, right, yeah. She's not just going to be like, oh yeah, you're right. Exactly.
Blair assaults Chuck, and the two go back and forth with their layers of blackmail fodder from Miss Chamberlain. The shocked woman overhears the exchange and walks off, letting the room at large know to tell the dean she's quitting.
So, once again, just want to reiterate that they had many other angles that they could have gone with to do this whole plot, because they list other angles that both of them had to make this a much more interesting intrigue.
But all those angles play off of the first one.
But they didn't need that first one. Like, you can just skip right to the IRS.
Because because they know there's going to be a counter plan, and then you need a counter plan to that. You need a counter plan to that.
And where I feel like it would have, when she brought up the husband, the first scene, right? When she's like, I know about your husband, I know about the ex, I know about the nanny. And she brings all of that up. There is so much you can do with that right there. Like, I have all of this info on the nanny, and then Chuck is like, well, I can come in and save the nanny.
So the other thing is that the first thing Blair she wants to have a good relationship with this person, so why not try and help her first?
Sure. Well, that's what I'm saying. That come in and take down the nanny that, stole the husband. Come in with an angle of doing something to the husband to, help the custody agreement, help the divorce agreement, help help get around the prenup. Maybe she has information on that. Both of them have such good skills behind this. There are so many, and it just felt once again, writers trying to write for people smarter than they are. I hated that it was all about a man. I hated it.
Sex sells, Steve.
It does, but you can still make it sexy is what I'm saying, and make it better. I guess what I'm really saying at the end of the day is that me as a person watching TV, I do not believe that a powerful person brought in to guest lecture at an Ivy League school is going to be wooed by a sophomore saying, "I can get you a date."
Okay, you're thinking this as a sophomore. These people are adults. They've been acting like adults since they were 12.
I know, but you're
and
right.
People treat them like adults.
But the people in their orbit treat them like adults, and the bartenders treat them like adults. But
men treat them like adults.
And the men treat them like adults. God damn it. God damn it. I know what you're saying. I just hated it.
The dean still doesn't believe Serena when Serena shows her that the cell phone is missing from her purse.
I mean, fair.
Yeah.
My cell phone's not here.
Okay, you don't have your cell phone.
Yeah. You could very easily have just, hold this for me. Hey, Dan, hold this.
Or
look.
Or you just didn't bring your cell phone.
Or you lost it anyway. Although if you didn't
bring, threw it in the trash can again.
Or you threw it in the trash. Although not having it there, if it was at home, would make it so she couldn't have sent that email when it was sent.
Juliet makes a last-ditch effort to stop Vanessa from confessing, but as Juliet grabs Vanessa's arm, she drops the cell phone in Vanessa's bag.
Yeah. Smooth.
Yeah.
So smooth. And I think one of the things that I was irritated, before that little light bulb in my head, why I was irritated with Juliet a lot of the time is I'm waiting for her to get caught. And everybody gets, by now, people's schemes are blown up. And so her scheme is still going with, it only got blown up a little bit. And so now it's like, okay, now I'm a little bit more engaged in this story with how she behaved tonight.
Dan, Juliet, and Vanessa all walk up to Serena and the dean, and Juliet suggests that Serena call her own phone. When Serena does so, Vanessa's bag starts ringing. Dan and Serena immediately go after Vanessa, and Serena even accuses her of starting the STD rumor in the first place. When Vanessa tries to shift the blame to Juliet, she just denies it. Nate corroborates Juliet's story.
Yeah, diabolical on layers. She goes to Nate ahead of time before the party and says Vanessa's planning something.
Yeah.
Like, damn. And the way that she walks up is like, call your phone, Serena. And just drops it right
perfect.
on. Yeah. Perfect.
And Gossip Girl has this to say. Poor V, didn't she know that in love and war, a friend in need is willing to do the most any deed?
And I felt for her when Dan is like, I don't know what to believe right now. Especially when she is like, after everything, I need you to trust me. And he's like, I don't know. I thought that was a little bit shitty because of how much he's asked her for trust. But she's also been...
Not trusting him.
Yeah.
And we go into the epilogue. Serena is having a private conversation with the dean. The dean believes Serena didn't send the email, but is concerned about the level of drama that has followed Serena to campus. The dean advises Serena to rethink her priorities. As Blair walks up, the dean says she has her eye on Blair as well.
The fact that the dean brought up the STI rumor to Serena, are you going to start expelling people for STIs from Columbia? Because you're going to lose about 25% right off the bat.
Also, isn't her like reputation how she got into college anyways?
Right, yeah. She got in, yeah. It wasn't on merit.
I guess that was just Yale, apparently.
Right.
She got into Columbia because her dad was an alumnus.
Yes. Yeah. So it wasn't the paparazzi. It was
Yale that wanted the drama.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Yes. Oh my God. It was just I hate the whole the dean has his eye on you, the dean has her eye on you plot line, because it's like, again, you had a great high school show for 2 years, and then you had a great college show for a year, and now we have another high school show again. And I like the college show better. Not even better. I liked the evolution into the college thing. I wouldn't even mind it if they dropped out, or half of them dropped out and were like, college isn't for me. Sort of like with Buffy, how you have one season of her in college, and then the rest of the time she drops out. That's okay. But just stop being high school is all.
We get a quick conversation with Blair and Serena. Blair says Gossip Girl put a hit out on whoever sent the false tip about Serena having an STI. Serena tells Blair that it was Vanessa.
Yeah. I mean, all evidence, I get it, Serena. And Blair's like, that'll only boost her social standing. Yeah. Like, oh, that's not someone you want Gossip Girl taking down.
Well, that goes back to the season 1 where Blair was trying to threaten Vanessa, and what are you going to threaten me with?
Yeah, yeah.
You can't really exile me from your mean girl clique because I'm not part of it.
Yeah, I don't want, nor do I want to be.
As Blair leaves to go confront Chuck, who she spots drinking alone, and Juliet comes over to talk to Serena. Juliet apologizes for being an asshole to Serena at first.
Yeah, plays her perfectly. Just plays her.
I was just jealous.
Yeah, I was jealous, and now I've seen the error of my ways. Plays it perfectly.
Chuck tells Blair that tonight was just a warm-up. He is going to be there every time she wants something to take it away. When Blair once again says she's over Chuck, the lady doth protest too much, methinks. Chuck threatens to reveal to the world why they didn't get back together.
I'm over this Chuck and Blair drama bullshit. Just fuck off each other. Just get over it. Although I like
the banter's great.
The banter is great. The cat and mouse is tried.
Dan finds a packed up Vanessa at the loft. Vanessa is going to stay with her parents for a while. Dan agrees that it's good they spend some time apart. He believes that she didn't send the email, but now the problem is that she didn't believe him. They say a tearful goodbye.
This one got me because I actually thought that Dan would go back and believe her, and
And he did.
Yeah, and he did. And I thought that would be enough to work it out. And when he's like, no, because you didn't believe me, and it's like, I can't fault him for that,
No.
And Vulture said the thing about he's just kind of ambivalent about the relationship. And I feel like that's also true. I feel like when Dan was kind of in last week and the week before, when he was in this Vanessa Serena decision that he was making, it was, I don't want the drama of the Serena relationship. I just want the nice, smooth sailing relationship. But the Serena drama got into it anyway because Vanessa got wrapped up into it. And so I can understand Dan being like, you not sending the email isn't the issue. You stealing her phone because you needed to know is the issue.
The good-looking cab stealer finds Serena drinking alone at the bar he suggested. Serena's still playing hard to get, but he gets her to open up a little.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. She clearly went there to find him.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah. But act surprised when he shows up.
You have your pattern, Serena.
Yes.
It is very similar to when the whole Trip and Serena thing started.
Yes, you're right. When they were sitting at the bar after the election.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Also, I can't help but wonder, This guy is stalking Serena. This is an older guy. Is he tied to Ben somehow? Is one of my big questions. I had that thought at the end of the episode of this guy's also helping get Serena expelled. This guy is the reason Serena has been late to class all of these times. And she couldn't leave 5 minutes earlier. And she leaves just in time to just barely get to class as soon as a cab gets there. All that aside, when the rest of the time they just fast travel around the city. But all this time, this guy is sabotaging her college career. So I kind of wondered if they're working together.
Definitely an interesting point. Ben is having another late night call with Juliet. He is upset that Juliet changed the plan and Serena didn't get expelled. He is somewhat placated by the fact that Juliet has made her way into Serena's confidence, but he suspects the real reason she changed the plan was to protect Nate.
Yep. I think it's because the real reason she changed the plan was to protect Nate. So I think his suspicions are onto something.
Because as we see, possibly proving Ben's theory, we see Juliet walking into Nate's bedroom wearing lingerie. The two get down with the get down.
Yep. It does not look like the 4-day waiting period was still in order. Just once again, Juliet, he did bang a lot of women this summer. You were...
And he told her about it, too.
Yeah, you were right.
That's how you met.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. That's how you met. So you were right to have him get tested, and you were right to wait to sleep with him until after you got those test results. Yeah. So.
Yeah. But she wasn't really worried about him having STDs. It was just all about Serena.
Right. Exactly.
And it was very awkward looking.
Yes.
They didn't have very good chemistry.
No.
We see Chuck standing by his limo, make a call to someone to set up an interview with Jenny with Tim Gunn.
Yes. I love that.
Yeah. And Taylor Bumsey continues to be in the main cast credits.
Yes, she's still in the cast credits. And Tim Gunn, dropping the name of Tim Gunn, who belongs on this show, right? At this point, Tim Gunn should be on this show.
And Gossip Girl's closing monologue goes, "The law of affinity refers to unlikely compositions forming a bond through purely chemical reaction. But even the strongest bonds have their limits, and when broken, that if left unchecked, explode like a nuclear bomb. Waiting for the fallout. XO, XO, Gossip Girl."
Yep.
What is coming next?
Okay, first of all, Dan is single. And Blair is vulnerable. Do we finally get our Dare relationship or something sparked here? I feel like it's a good opportunity. I also believe, well, especially because I'm pretty sure we're going to see Jenny again. I think we're going to see, I saw the episode title for next week and the one-line description on the HBO thing, which we'll get to at the end, which I tend not to read those, but today just caught my eye. So I do anticipate we see Jenny again, and there's a big blow up there. So that can also drive Dan and Blair together, I think.
Wouldn't that drive them apart, though?
I feel like, well, if she's gunning for Jenny, it depends on if she's gunning for Jenny or gunning for Chuck. Because Dan could gun for Chuck pretty easily, too, I feel. Anyway, I feel like they'll be in each other's orbit is the biggest thing. Serena's going to be in an inappropriate relationship with an inappropriately older man, and that's going to play out. And that guy, I do think that guy's up to something. My current prediction, just so I'll be right if it happens, is that he is tied to Ben somehow and working with them to also tear everything down, despite the fact that along the way, he's going to catch feelings for Serena. That's my prediction there. And that's what I got, I think, this week.
I feel like he already caught feelings for Serena.
If he's part of Ben's scheme, I could see that being an act, is kind of where I'm going with that.
Yes, he did have that same smarmy smile the day after raping his wife in Mad Men.
Damn.
Anything else?
I don't think so, other than a Tim Gunn guest appearance. But
Will anyone get expelled from Columbia?
I don't think so. If they do, I don't think it'll be Blair or Serena. I think Chuck is going to find other ways to take things away from Blair that she wants, but I don't think that either of that. I don't think anyone's getting expelled from Columbia.
Well, let's get into segments. This week in fandom, we traveled in the Wayback Machine to the fan forums from 2010.
Hello there, Peabody here. And this is the Wayback Machine for traveling through time. And this is my boy, Sherman. Speak, Sherman. Hello. Good boy.
Overall, another bad episode.
Yeah.
Dan and Nate are adorable.
Yes. They made the episode. I really felt Dan carried a lot in this episode.
Juliet is a top-level manipulator and has possibly surpassed Georgina as the best villain on the show.
I think Georgina is a more fun villain because she is unhinged and a wild card, whereas Juliet is manipulative and thoughtful. I do agree that she is turning into a phenomenal villain.
The new guy is hot but smarmy.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably what they looked for in the casting. It's probably the exact casting call. Hot, smarmy, 30-something male to date a teenager, to stalk and date a teenager.
People actually felt a bit sorry for Vanessa.
Yeah. I felt really sorry for Vanessa. Yeah, absolutely.
The Nate and Juliet sex scene was very awkward.
Yep.
And finally, does Dan just go to Columbia now? Because NYU's just gone. They haven't shown it one time this season.
No. Dan and Vanessa both just, at Hamilton House at the secret society of a different university.
Let's get into episode grades. It is your week to go first.
Better than last week. I wasn't bored. It was still a bad episode. I'm giving it a solid middle of the road C this week.
Yeah, definitely better than last week. I thought the directing was good. A lot of the acting was really good. Jessica had her best episode of the series. Series,
yeah.
So I ended up landing on a B-.
That's fair. Because you were like a C last week.
Yeah. Like the story was stupid, but I thought it was well executed.
That I completely agree with. That especially the directing, and really the only part that I wasn't behind was the Blair Chuck storyline. That storyline was the one that rubbed me the wrong way.
But if I was a chair shipper, I would like that storyline.
That's fair. Yeah. Yeah, I was for a while. I'm just over them.
Yeah, I'm over them as a couple, at least for now.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of people never got off the wagon, and that if I was still shipping them, that would be fun because their banter was great, and they're clearly still in love with each other.
Yeah. I'm just shipping Date right now, the Dan-Nate relationship.
Yes. Moving over to Stockwatch, who do you have going up?
I had Dan going up. Yes, he breaks up with Vanessa, but I also think that is the direction he needed to go anyway. And aside from that, I feel like he had a great episode and handled everything thrown at him pretty well. I had Nate going up because in addition to getting the girl that he thinks he's getting, I think she's actually fallen for him at this point, and he doesn't know he's getting played, and I feel like he, because of that, kind of had a good episode. I had Rufus going up. Good parenting to Dan, as per usual. And I believe Oh, Juliet, and I'm going to have Juliet and Ben go up because their plan is currently working. And creepy guy, you said his name is Colin?
Mm-hmm.
I'll give Colin an up for schmarming his way into Serena's thoughts.
For me, I had Chuck going up because he took away that assistantship from Blair.
I was on the fence on Chuck.
I mean, he didn't actually want that. He wanted to take it away from
Right.
Blair. So
No, Chuck definitely made out.
Yeah,
You know what? I'm going to bump Chuck. I was really on the fence because I felt like he didn't really go much of anywhere other than just against Blair, but that was his whole goal.
Juliet, because she continues to win. I'm not really counting Ben as a character yet because he's kind of working through her at the moment.
That's fair.
Rufus, because he was a good parent, and Colin, because he's apparently going to bang Serena.
Yeah, eventually.
Who do you have going down?
I have Serena going down, and not just on the smarmy guy, but because now the Dean has her eye on her after she really did just get shit on this whole episode. It's one of those times that I almost feel bad giving the Serena down because it just happened to her. Like, for all the times that I'll badmouth Serena, she just got shit on this episode. Vanessa obviously going down. Are we getting a break from Vanessa now that she's at her parents' house? I'm wondering.
I forget.
But yeah, Vanessa definitely going down. Blair going down, missing out on the assistant role and just losing to Chuck.
Yeah.
So those are my.
All right, yeah. So I had Blair going down because she lost the assistantship and losing to Chuck and just losing in general. Serena, because she got shit on all episode. I had Nate and Dan both going down. Nate was again really cold to Serena and was ready to jump in to defend Juliet, and is still getting played by her. Dan, because he did lose the woman he said he loved last week. So, and Vanessa, because she got dumped.
Yeah.
It is now homeless.
Yes. Yeah. And it's damn.
But here's the best outfits from the last episode we've seen.
Who do you have for best outfit?
I'm going with Serena's dress at the end, that sort of white dress that she was wearing.
Cream, the cream one.
The cream one, yes. I liked that and thought that stood out.
I also gave it to a Serena outfit, but I gave it to her tan mini skirt with the blue blouse and the turquoise leaf necklace thing she had on.
Oh, right. Earlier.
And she had like these open toe booties. There were also heels.
Yeah.
Also, honorable mention to Blair's blue Louis Vuitton party dress.
Yeah. Yes.
That is it for segments. Do you have anything you would like to plug this week?
First of all, you can find me on TikTok or Instagram at steve.marchon, Marchion. And while you're there, you can follow me on Blue Sky at The Weed Wizard. And also, if you are looking for a D&D game, I am now a professional D&D or Pathfinder DM. So you can find me on startplaying.games. And if you're looking to hire a DM, you can hire me and I'll run a game for you and your friends.
For me, I'm once again going to be recommending Dexter Resurrection. Just watched episode 9 and Peter Dinklage was fucking amazing. So check out Dexter Resurrection. It's really good. Hopefully they land the finale. I've heard that the 10th episode has leaked in Russian if you want to watch with subtitles. But I think I'm just going to wait till next Friday. If you want to follow me on social media, you can find me on Instagram and on Blue Sky at Hot Capicola. That's HOTCAPICOLA. And if you want to follow the podcast, we are on Instagram, TikTok, Threads, at Non-Judging Breakfast Pod. And if you would like to find links to our Discord server, our Patreon, and also our subreddit, you can find them on nonjudgingbreakfastpod.com.
And if you'd like to get in touch with us, we would love to hear what you have to say and maybe even read what you have to say here on our show. So please go ahead and send us an email at nonjudgingbreakfastpod@gmail.com. And while you're at it, why don't you also go ahead and hit that like, that subscribe, that follow button, and leave us a comment. And sorry if there's something going on with Spotify, but leave a comment in Spotify and in Apple Podcasts. That really helps build our visibility. And finally, while you're out and about, why don't you make us your water cooler talk? Go ahead and tell your friends and coworkers what you're listening to and get them on board and bring them a seat to the non-judging breakfast table.
And we will be back next week to talk about Season 4, Episode 6, Easy J. The episode description reads, although Blair made it perfectly clear that little Jay was no longer welcome in Manhattan after what happened with Chuck, Jenny is tempted by a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to meet Tim Gunn, which could be a game changer for her future.
Yeah, interesting setup. It's about time Tim Gunn is on the show. If he is on the show, I'm assuming he is. I don't feel like they'd do that big of a setup at a week before.
Mm-hmm.
This would also probably would have been sort of the beginning of his show too, right? Like it would have been like just a couple years old, I feel, at this point.
Probably.
Project Runway, right? Mm-hmm. Great show. Yeah, so very interesting to see what happens from this.
Well, until next time, you know you love us.
XOXO.
Every time you walk away, run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away, run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away, run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Oh, it seems I'm walking right to your door. My heart's still resting, looking for something more. Are you ever gonna see everything you mean to me? I'm trying really hard to believe. Every time you walk away, run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away, run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away, run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Never feels right when I'm out here on my own. I left last night and it feels like way too long. Are you ever gonna see everything you mean to me? I'm trying really hard to believe. Every time you walk away, run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away, run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away, run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Come back to me. Smile and you'll make my life complete. Every time you walk away or run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away or run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away or run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away or run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away or run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away or run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away or run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away or run away, you take a piece of me